have a genuine question for Black women, but what I really want to know is, Black women, what makes you feel safe when we're in shared spaces? What can I do, and those in my circles do, to make you feel seen and heard and safe when we are in shared spaces?
Glad to have you, amazing viewer at Comfort for Life. Once more, I appreciate your continued support to my content. And if you're new here, this is Comfort for Life. I bring to you compilation of TikTok videos for educational purposes. Consider liking the video. Like the video kindly for recommendations. Subscribe and also turn on the bell for more videos related to this. Let's dive into today's video. I must start by appreciating this creator for sharing this video, for sharing her question, and this must be birthed from other videos related to this that I came across on my For You page on TikTok, where Black women are preferring to be around white men rather than being with white women. So she wanted to know, what can we do? What can I do personally? What can us white women do?
One of my favorite creators on this app, White Woman Whisperer, posed a sub question to the man versus bear question, which was, Black women, you are alone in a conference room. Who do you want to walk in? A white man or a white woman? And the answer overwhelmingly has been white man. And there are a lot of white women in the comments angry, vitriolic, that she dared pose this question, that the answer dare be men instead of women, because we want to think of ourselves as better, right? I just want to ask you, I want to invite you to this. If you are mad about that question, if you are feeling vitriolic about people saying that white women are doing as much harm as white men, where do you feel that in your body? Where is that coming up for you? If you are angry about this, if you are feeling powerful emotions about that, where are you feeling that? Because that is where you are holding misogyny and racism in your body. And deconstruction is not just a matter of the mind, it's a matter of processing it in your body. That's an invitation to learn about yourself.
So this woman wanting to know what she can do personally to make white women feel comfortable, and also other white women, what they can do to make you guys feel comfortable, was birthed from that analysis. How can you do better? What can we do? What really can we do for you to feel comfortable around us? Because it was, as you see, the reactions weren't good. What do you think as a Black woman watching this? What can be done? What can they do? What are they doing wrong that you want them to stop for you to start feeling comfortable around them? So these are few responses that I came across, and I'll let you listen to them. And also, you are welcome to share your thoughts. Black woman watching this, don't keep quiet. Kindly, we want to hear from you.
If you're not a Black woman or a woman of color, please don't comment on this video. Maybe look at the comments if this video gets any traction, but I really only want to be hearing from Black women and women of color.
This might come to a shock to you, because it was to me, but as a Black woman, my biggest ally in the corporate space has been white men. I know, I've been told my whole life that my biggest enemy as a Black woman, as a young Black woman, are white men, specifically older white men. But in my experience working with both white women and white men bosses, I found myself, my personal experience, to be safer professionally and personally at work with white men. And it was definitely a bitter pill to swallow. My first few jobs were women bosses, and I wanted to look up to them. I mean, I still look up to them, their professional success, their successes as women, but I just felt like entering those spaces, I was guilty until proven innocent. I felt like I was hired to do a job, and then I was entrusted to do that job. I felt like there wasn't really a lot of direct feedback. I felt like I was always messing up secret rules that I wasn't aware of, but they were very clear to them. And I just felt like, just in general, like I was always messing up, and then I would start messing up because you're in this sort of like psychologically difficult place. Now I work with a 2 white men supervisor. One of them is an older white man, and I'm giving so much freedom and space to do my work that at first I was a little bit nervous, but now I'm realizing how much good work you can do when you are trusted at work, when you're not being psychologically attacked by things not relevant to work and sifting through that in order to do your job, and just in general feeling much more championed and safe as a woman of color, and granted, it could also just be like I locked out with this organization, like I get that, but I've also heard stories of my friends who are women of color just having difficult experiences working with other women, specifically white women, where they just feel like it's not professionally or psychologically safe for them to work there. And so when I first started working with white men bosses, I was like, this is definitely gonna be a change, but I was definitely nervous because some stories I've heard in the past of egotistical bosses and all that stuff, I definitely didn't get that. And before this job, I also worked with another white man boss, and he just also made it very psychologically safe to work there. He was very empathetic and vulnerable, and I just was shocked because that's not what I was told, at least. And so if you're a Black woman, a woman of color in the professional space, and you want to enter a team, but you're nervous because it's a white man boss and you don't know how that's going to work, you may be surprised.
Hold on. No, don't mind if I do. I'm coming. About time somebody asked this question, because I'm about to tell you. We do the same thing. I'm just Black, and mine just has a little, little razzle dazzle, a little sprinkle of flavor. That's the difference. My background is just a little bit more powerful, so it comes with a little bit more power. You feel me? Now, that power is not always perceived well, but I will say this. We deserve credit. We deserve credit for everything. We don't get that credit. We get credit for a lot of other things, though, if you get what I'm saying. I don't need that credit. Society already give me that. But on a woman-to-woman level, giving me credit will make me feel safe. Giving me recognition will make me feel safe in the shared space.
Let me tell you a story. When I was 14 in middle school, my family and I moved to North Carolina in a suburban white area. The school I went to, the neighborhood, my friends, and even the places I hang out with was majority white. I was new to this foundation because this was the first time ever that we left the hood. Leaving the hood, scoring a nice apartment where the grass is even and there's a fucking fountain in the middle of the neighborhood. Kids are playing outside without the fear of getting shot at or hearing gunshots in the vicinity, or not having to worry about random people trying to rob you in broad daylight. That's a big achievement for Black people. I was happy about this. I'd felt safe. This is what every Black woman wants, not just for themselves, but for their family and for their kids if they have them. But there was a problem. At this age, I was very unaware of the dangers that white people could have. When we moved to this all-white area, my aunt made me go through a drill. In a white man's world, it is very important that you learn how to speak to them and when to speak to them. She had me practicing certain phrases and responses in case I'm in a situation where I need to use them. Dressing white, sounding white, and have your voice at the highest pitch, just enough for people to think that you are completely harmless. Before school even started, she did not let me leave that house until I got the rhythm down. At the time, I never understood the reasoning behind these drills, and I thought it was completely pointless. But then, a couple years later, after school started, I got off the bus and I started to walk home. I was by myself and my aunt and uncle was still at work. On my way walking home, I saw a police officer standing near the sidewalk. Now, I never had a bad situation with the officer at this age. However, I felt a shaking feeling. All of a sudden, I was nervous. I didn't know why. I was trying to figure it out, but I was like, you know what? It doesn't matter. I'm gonna just push through it. It's just a police officer. What's the worst that can happen? Holy shit, how wrong I was. As I was walking past the officer, him and I made eye contact, and without hesitation, I said to him, "Good afternoon, officer." Then I gave him the biggest smile I could. He did not respond, wave, or nod, just stared intensely at me. The look of suspicion and hatred. I started to freak out how he was looking at me, and I kept looking back and forth, and before I knew it, I tripped over that lump on the sidewalk. When I tripped, I saw at a glimpse that he was feeling trigger happy and put his hand towards his gun. I quickly regained my balance and said to him, sorry, I'm a bit clumsy." He gave me that exact same look throughout the entire time until I was out of his sight. I told my aunt about it, and she was terrified. She said, "Did you use the phrases that I gave you?" And I said, "Yes." And it probably saved my life that day. One of the worst fears of a Black woman, especially a Black mother, is finding out that your son, your brother, or even your cousin is not coming home that day because a fucking white officer got to him first. That experience is forever burned in my head. I can only imagine what Black women go through every single day, walking inside of a building and instantly getting judged by the people surrounding you. Because the first thing they think of is angry Black woman, loud Black woman, Ghetto, stereotypical black woman. The black woman that got handed shit down. The black woman who's a single mother. A black woman who is a diversity hire or met with the instant assumption that the reason she got the job was because she's screwed in order to receive it. Because black people, black women know, as soon as you step into a room, you're instantly seen as inferior and unintelligent, and you are immediately met with the task of proving yourself, regardless of your credentials, your success, and your achievements, because that no longer matters. I can only imagine how it feels as a black woman, but that's the point. I can only imagine. As a black man, I understand that black women have it the hardest than any other demographic. I said what I said. Do what you will with this information.
What stood out for me was the girl who talks about recognition. So don't appropriate everything about black women, but also acknowledge them, where give them credit where it's due. Because sometimes you know that they deserve a certain credit, but you deprive it from them and you appropriate what belongs to them. So there are other women who came on to say that compared to white men, they have always felt that in corporate, white women have always been competing with them. So they make them uncomfortable so that they can like leave their spaces. So some have even gone to white women have admitted that they need to do better. Some white women have admitted because they said that they have heard such things over and over again, and they have agreed on doing better. There's also a colored lady who went on to say that she had a male boss who covered her 3 days shift when she had a sick dad who was almost dying. So unfortunate. And she said that's something that could have never happened if the boss was a female white. So that's what this video is about. I don't know what you think about this particular video. Are you white watching this? Can you agree to this? Are you also black? What you experience? What are you colored? Are you like what you experience? Share with us. Let us know. This lady want to know how they can do better. But I feel like if they don't know what they're doing wrong, then they can do better. So that's why I came up with things, quite a number of things that they do wrong, so that they can do better on those. But what else do you want them to do better? That was it about this video. Goodbye, and I appreciate that you spent your precious time with me. Stay tuned for more.